Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. In the last episode we landed on the Mun, so let's find something new to do. And going to Minmus sounds just about right. In terms of Delta V, landing on Minmus is actually a little easier, but landing on the Mun first is kind of traditional, isn't it? So let's take that. Anything else we want? Land on the Mun. I don't know if we need to go back, but this is quite a bit of money. You know what? I'll take that. Same thing here. Okay. Even more tourists. I guess we'll be making another trip to the Mun at some point. And sure, we can do a temperature survey. Okay. This isn't worth much. Neither is this. Neither is this. Nope. I guess we're going back to the Mun anyway. Same with that. Okay. Now let's spend some of our science. Advanced electrics. Let's get research labs. And heavier rocketry, maybe. These are pretty good. And we're out of science, so there we go. So I'd like to head to Minmus, and I think I'd like to launch a research base there. Now we could upgrade this and get more parts, but do we really need more parts? I don't know. If we're going to do research, I guess I'd like to hire another scientist. Irgar Kerbin, you're in. A little bit on the stupid side, but he'll be fine. So let's build our research base here. New craft. And first part can be the lab. Minmus Science Base. Okay. Get some fuel. And a tiny little engine on the bottom. Science stuff on the top. Barometer. Thermometer. Command pod. Antenna can go on top, I guess. And we're going to need a decoupler on the bottom, obviously. And then some fuel. Craft weight 68 tons, okay. And then one of these liquid boosters. And we are at 14 parts. And we're over 100 tons. We do want to be over 100 tons if we're using one of these, because they have about 200 tons of vacuum thrust. Okay. So now we need some electricity. Maybe get 4 of these solar arrays. And maybe 6 of these batteries. And what are we going to do for landing legs? I guess solar panels are basically the same as landing legs, right? Right? If you don't think about it too much, you know? And that's 30 parts. So let's save. But first, let's make a new craft that is just a pod. And let's launch this. Now we're headed to Minmus, and we want to burn at about, when it's about 90 degrees ahead of the direction we're going. So let's just set this as target. And we want to turn towards about 270 here. And we'll time warp. And watch this purple target marker go around. Here's the away from target marker. And we'll just wait until that reaches the horizon approximately. So here we go. Just wait for that to hit the horizon, more or less, and that'll do. So, recover vessel. And now we go back to the vehicle assembly building. Open up our real craft. Add our crew. Do we need a pilot? I don't know. I might just put scientists in here. Oops. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, it's just bugging out. It's fine. And let's launch. Now this might be a little tricky to keep stable because we don't have SAS, not having a pilot. Yeah, it's a little bit noodly, but we're fine, right? Just wait for that to stabilize. Okay. Here we go. And we just want to point straight up. Oh boy. This thing is... It is a wet noodle. Oh, you know what? Increase the flow priority on the back. And that can go next. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Keep straight. Keep straight. Yeah, let's burn the fuel in the back first to just help out with the stability just a little bit. Come on. Stay straight. Oh dear. Well, let's revert to launch here. I guess I could remove a fuel tank. But let's just try increasing this priority from the start. And then that. And then that. Okay. No SAS. Yes. Well, maybe this will help. Hopefully it'll help a little bit. It's this little decoupler here that's really causing us so much trouble. If we had a little bit more technology, we could put a poodle on the back here and use a Rockomax decoupler, but I think we didn't unlock the Rockomax decoupler yet. So we're just a little bit wobbly here. Just a little bit on the wobbly side. That's no good. Now, do I need to change the design of this thing? I might actually want to change the design of this. Well, I guess what we could do is go like that. And put two of these on the very back. Flow priority, flow priority. Let's try this. Now this will increase our drag, which is bad, but the drag is at the back. So this drag actually stabilizes our vessel. And you can see the fuel is draining from these first. Okay, this is much easier to fly. So we can go ahead and do a crew report, processing lab. And, you know, Log pressure data. Another 50 science. SAS would be nice, I have to say, but I don't want to leave an extra Kerbal on the base when I don't really need to. Come on. Come on. There we go. And we'll just head straight up until this stage runs out of fuel, I guess. It is still a little bit noodly because of this tiny little decoupler on the front, but it's a lot easier to fly now. We can head a little bit towards 90 degrees if we want. And once we get out of the atmosphere, I might start time warping a little bit. It is fast to just launch straight up, though. It is nice and fast. You spend less time in the atmosphere, and you don't need to throttle down or anything. Okay. Well, there's our stage, and now we continue onward. Let's check our APO. Okay. And you can see Minmus is about in the right position. Op, 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 op. Once this hits 1,000,000 or so, I will maybe set up an adjustment maneuver. We are slowing down, unfortunately. The thrust on this is a little bit weak. It's a little bit on the weak side. But, you know, we have plenty of fuel, which makes up for a lot. Would have been better if I could have flown the original version with the lower drag, but oh well. And would have been nice to have an extra part for a pod, or a probe core, rather. But again, we should be fine. Still burning. And our APO is above 1,000,000 now. I kinda want to just keep burning for quite a while until this maybe crosses the Mun's orbit. There we go. Now we're accelerating instead of decelerating, which is a positive thing. Oop, oop, oop. You can't completely stop your rotation without using SAS or time warp, pretty much. So you need to just keep constantly adjusting, and with time warp, it's really super sensitive. Okay, now our APO is getting out to about the Mun's height. So let's go ahead and set up a adjustment maneuver here. Add maneuver. Set as target, of course, yes. And keep going, keep going, keep going. We need to go this way. Keep going. And we want to go this way. And we're encountering Minmus. Let's bring this down a little bit. Are we heading above or below it? We are heading below it, I guess. So that's increasing it. Just watch what increases or decreases your parry here. Is that increasing? Yes, increasing. That's decreasing it. Now it's increasing it. And this is decreasing it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Well, I mean, this is good enough, I suppose. It doesn't need to be perfect with Minmus here. So anyway, let's get on our target vector here and just start burning. Up, up, up. Remove the time warp, I suppose. And I'm going to remove this maneuver. Okay. Yeah. We are... now we need to do another adjustment, because I overshot it. Yep. Okay. Just a 2.1 meter per second correction here. Burning retrograde. Very, very small. So now we are encountering Minmus. Looks like we'll get to about 1,000,000 meters high. But, well, that's pretty much fine. So we can go ahead and just warp out here. I can click on the orbit, perhaps. Excuse me? Well, we could, that's just time warp. And this bug is still here, this Irgar Kerbin. He's stuck on our screen. That's annoying, I have to say. Maybe he's just an annoying guy and he tends to like to stick out. Okay. So, here you can see our Minmus encounter is coming up. We can just warp here. Or we could go ahead and do a small adjustment. Just add a maneuver. Cannot add maneuver node, control locked. Well, extend the antenna. That might help. That might help a little bit. Can we get a maneuver node here? Come on. There we go. So you can see, you might want to go this way a little bit. Not that way. But this way. 20 meters per second, well, maybe I'll do a partial burn of that. Just bring our parry down a little bit. Okay. So let's warp to our encounter. And before we hit the encounter, actually, let's do some science from Kerbin's sphere of influence. Process in lab. Observe materials bay. Process in lab. Log pressure data. Log temperature. Bob, you EVA. EVA report. Keep experiment. Board. Review data. Process in lab. And now we want to clean experiments. And just, I think you need the hard time warp, physics time warp. And in the meantime, we can extend these solar panels. And can we transmit this? No, that's not worth anything. Okay. How about this? We can transmit this. Uploading data. And we have plenty of electric charge here. And we can just clean experiments again. And can we transmit the EVA report? I can't remember. Board. Nope, that's not worth anything. Okay. Well, I think that's all our science from Kerbin's Sphere of Influence. Can we level up crew? Yes, we can. Okay. So warp here. And once we hit Minmus, we can start recording more science. Alright. So, observe materials bay. And process in a lab. We're going to want to transmit that too. Process. 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 We're up to 320 data. So, clean experiments. And crew report. Process. Crew report. Transmit. 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 And EVA. EVA report transmit. Oh, right. We need to save that actually. And then board. And then process. EVA. Do report. Board. Transmit. Observe materials bay. Transmit. Transmit. Observe mystery goo. Transmit. Confirm. And we've used that. And we have also done all our thermometer stuff. Okay. So we're up to 361 science in the lab, and 361 data in the lab, and each data is worth 5 science. So we have already fulfilled our contract, fly by Minmus and gather scientific data, but let's keep going and try landing. We have almost half a tank full of fuel here. So at about the peri, we want to burn retrograde until we're in a stable orbit. Bring that down a bit. And we can just go ahead and warp here. And now we want to burn retrograde. We can actually time warp to stop our rotation here. Note in 8 minutes. It doesn't have to be exact here since we're in a very high orbit, so the timing is much less important than when you're in, say, a low orbit of Kerbin. Seconds can matter when you're in a very low orbit, which is why a lot of times, if you don't have much thrust, you may need to do 2 burns. First put yourself in an eccentric orbit, and then burn again on another pass. Come on, Bob. Hold it together. Just stay on the target marker, Bob. You can do this. You can do it, Bob. Alright. Keep burning retrograde until our parry is down to... well, that's fine. So now we're in a stable orbit of Minmus, and we still have a little bit of fuel. There's time warp to stop that rotation. Sorry about this bug here in the corner. Well, I probably shouldn't keep drawing attention to it. Oh well. And just clean out our experiments. And time warp, I guess. Since we can do stuff again once we get into low orbit. You know, maybe I'll burn retrograde just a little bit more. Just to bring this down to like below 30 or so. Okay. Is everything cleaned? Everything is cleaned. Well, let's warp to about the parry. And we're going to want to try and land on the light side. And I guess I'll try and land on one of the flat parts. So like this should be okay, I suppose. Let's just go with that, I guess. Okay. So get on our target and time warp to our maneuver. And since we're not exactly on the node, we do want to watch our actual orbit, the blue line, instead of the dotted line. And just bring that down until we're hitting the surface at the spot we want to land at. Doop. Throttle way down. And that should be just fine. Cannot delete maneuver node. Control locked. Oh. Oh, okay. I see. I see how it is. We are on the far side of Minmus, and we don't have a relay path. I guess I should have put a... well, no, we don't have relay antennas yet. Well, that's a reload, I guess. Let's try that again and make sure that we have a path, that we have a communication link. Maybe we'll just do one orbit around here. Okay. Let's just wait until we have a link. Just time warp until we have a line of sight to Kerbin again. You'll see this green line. Okay, yes, green line is present. Now we add a maneuver, and we can land here or so, I guess, maybe. Just land in this general area. Okay. 71 meters per second. Still fine. Okay, time warp to stop rotation. And the node is in just a minute, so I guess we can go ahead and start burning. Just watch our blue line here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Be careful not to overshoot it. Oh, and we are way off target. I was watching the landing site instead of the target marker, of course. Well, okay. Let's maybe just do this, I guess. Burn this way. A little bit. On this purple marker here. That'll do fine. Okay, quick save again. And add a maneuver at our impact site so we have an estimation of the time. And I guess time warp. Now note that Minmus is rotating here. So your landing site will be changing. And we do want to land on the flat part. Well, that's okay. We can just burn up a little bit if necessary. We can just burn sort of this away. Node in 3 minutes. Well, we don't need that long. And, well, we can go ahead and start slowing down. You can see estimated burn, node in 1 minute, so and so. If you divide your node time, or if you divide your estimated burn by your time to node, then you get about the thrust fraction that you want. So since we're burning sort of upwards, we should be extending our landing site outwards into this flat area. Oop, oop. I am too used to having SAS, I have to say. I am not at all used to flying without SAS on. Okay, so add a new maneuver here. Whoop. And I am just drifting all over the place. Okay. We're down to 40 meters per second. And oh, we're going up? Uh-oh. Well, let's just warp here, I guess. And we're getting kind of close to the surface. Let's just burn, like, straight up, maybe. A little bit towards the retrograde, but mostly just straight up. Or even, we can even go sideways a little bit more. How's our fuel doing? We're just fine on fuel. So we are still slowing down. There's our impact site. It is extending outwards. Yeah, cut the throttle here. Okay, and just speed up a little bit, I guess. Are we landing on the flat part? I think that we are. Okay. So since we're landing on the lowest part, this altimeter here is actually accurate for once, which is pretty nice. So now we want to be burning retrograde. Maybe a little towards upward, but also retrograde. And I'll just follow the retrograde marker, basically. And we're down to 3 meters per second. Okay. We're at 700 meters, 600, 500, 400. SAS would be nice. $200 meters. 100. Just keep burning retrograde. And we're slowing down very slowly. And we have landed. Oh, no. Excuse me. We bounced off there. Okay. Come on. Stay straight. Our landing legs are not really ideal as landing legs, being that they're solar panels, but, well, that's fine. So, we can do all our science again. Process in a lab. Observe mystery goo. Process. How much data are we at? 602, okay. Log pressure. We're at 682. Log temperature. And we are basically full. So now we just want to start keeping our experiments. Do an EVA report. And we can also clean this stuff and transmit it as well. Transmit data. Transmit data. Crew report. Transmit. And crew report. Keep. And review stored data. EVA report transmit. EVA again. Standing on the solar panel here. Okay. EVA report. Keep that experiment. Take a surface sample. And plant a flag. Okay, Bob. This is Minmus Base Alpha. Our new home. Oop. I still have time warp on. Oh no. Seem to have broken a solar panel with our impact there. But, you know, it happens, I guess. Should probably use the jetpack here instead of just jumping around. And board. Oh well, it happens. So transfer crew to the research lab. Okay, yes, everybody's in the research lab. Oh, but we don't have control. Oh, right. Now we have control. Now we can start research. Now we can transfer crew. And we're generating 7.98 science per day. And we'll do so for quite a long time, actually. We will run out of charge while it's dark out, but we'll get more once the sun is above the horizon again. And you know, we might as well go ahead and transmit this surface sample. Okay, and once we've done some research in the lab, we can start adding more stuff. And if we really want to, we can do a short suborbital hop. We can go to a different biome, get even more science. We do still have a little bit of fuel left. So our science base is done. It will continue to generate science over time. Let's just transfer our crew back here. Transfer Bob back. Oh no, wait. There's one other thing we want to do first. Level up crew. Recorded experience. Now we can transfer back. And we are generating almost 10 science per day. We did accidentally lose a solar panel, but that's okay. We have 3 more on the top, and our landing legs can also generate power, although that is broken. That is also broken. All of these are broken. Well, that's unfortunate. I didn't realize. Oh well. Blocked by terrain. Okay. Well, it's fine, really. Okay. And back to the Space Center. Well, that's all for today, I think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.